There are other ways we can limit which vars we show besides searching. Let's demonstrate that in this namespace. So we can click this pop-up here, and instead of showing all vars, we can choose to show only the public ones. We can choose to show only the private ones. So for example, if you define it with def and minus, that marks it with private metadata. Private is true. You can show only macros, functions, protocols, multi-methods, etc. And after the vars, we can choose to show Java classes that have been imported into this namespace here. And by clicking on one of those, we can get information about the Java class hierarchy or references to documentation on that Java class. We can choose to show only classes defined with Clojure's def type or def record. Refers means that a symbol has been used from another namespace in such a way that you don't need to give the namespace prefix in front of it. Now, most namespaces refer to Clojure.core, and that's a whole bunch of symbols. So if you want to see if there's anything outside of Clojure core, this means refers without Clojure.core symbols, then we can see that this one refers to a couple of symbols in the Clojure.java.io namespace from inside of this namespace. Other choices are all, I won't show that. Aliases refers only to namespaces that have been required in one namespace with a :as keyword, so that you can use a shorter name. So you can use the abbreviation s/ for clojure.string/ when you're in this namespace. And then there's special forms, which it doesn't matter which namespace you pick. They're the same for all. They're built into Clojure. Next, I'd like to show you how you can refresh the display of the browser to reflect updates made from the REPL. So I'm going to resize this display here so we can see both the REPL and the browser at the same time. And I'm going to go down to the user namespace, which is where we are in the REPL. And here we see, and then I'm going to switch to vars all. Okay, so we see no vars defined in the user namespace. Now if I say a is the string foo, then that doesn't immediately show up here. But if I click on window and manual refresh, then we can see that it updates the list of vars here. We can also choose to do auto refresh. And now as I am making changes to this namespace, it will update automatically. There we see B appeared within a second. It's just the browser is simply polling once a second for updating this list. If I click on this and show, we can see that the value is 1. If I come down here to B and change it to -5, then very quickly we see that the value gets updated up here in the browser. Another capability built into the browser is to start and stop tracing of functions that you've defined. So let's do a simple Fibonacci. Oops, forgot the base case. Don't forget the base case. Alright, test it out. There we go. And since this has been auto-refreshing, there it is. And you can give, oh, no source code. That's odd. Now let's turn on tracing for this. So I can either go up to namespaces, I can trace everything in an entire namespace, the selected namespace. With this, I'm going to trace only this one here, fib, and so it updated here to show that it's being traced. Now if we do this, we get a nice little trace display, and I could either go back and untrace the var here, just to demonstrate that there's also context-dependent menus up here. You can right-click on one of these things, and you'll get very similar choices. You can untrace the var and go back here. There we are.